Later this week, a judge will sentence 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery. The jury that reached the guilty verdict will have no say. But why? Our Why Guy explains.
They listen to days, sometimes weeks of testimony, learning intimate details about a crime. It's up to members of a jury to use that information to decide if a defendant is guilty or innocent of that crime. What happens after that is usually out of the jury's hands. The 3 men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery will be sentenced by a judge, not the jury that found them guilty.
They might have thought they had some say in it, and so they probably are shocked as well that they don't have any say.
Here's why, in most cases, it's a judge that decides on sentencing in Georgia and not a jury. It's not just Georgia. In fact, only a handful of states allow juries to sentence someone convicted of a crime. The exception is if the defendant is facing the death penalty, which is not the case for the men convicted of murdering Arbery. Criminal defense attorney Alicia Luncheon says lawyers can't discuss possible sentences in front of the jury.
In a trial, if you mention anything about sentencing or prison or jail, that's grounds for a mistrial, and you'll have to start over.
The purpose is to separate the verdict from sentencing.
You don't want the jurors distracted by whatever the sentence might be, because say that they do think this person did commit, for example, an armed robbery or an aggravated assault, but they don't want that person to go to prison for 20 years. They might say not guilty.
Luncheon says the judge will have information about a case that the jury doesn't know.
There were so many conversations that happened outside the presence of the jury, evidence that was kept away from the jury.
Some defense attorneys have argued that juries should at least know the possible sentences when debating guilt or innocence. This year, Virginia passed a law allowing defendants to choose if a judge or jury decides their sentence.